Liberals versus conservatives. Who will win? The Hunt, released in 2020 and is directed by Craig Zobel, who has also directed such films like Great World of Sound, Compliance, and Z for Zachariah. And this film is starring Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank. And the reason why we're talking about The Hunt today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my biggest contributors and supporters on this channel, Autumn Blood. You strike again with another recommendation. This one was one of the newer recommendations that you had sent in, and I was like, well, it's from the newer years, and I remember hearing a lot of stories about this movie, because I believe it was supposed to come out in 2019, and then, gosh, in 2019 and 2020, especially in this country, there were so many, like, mass shootings and just terrible violence that was happening on a daily basis and covered by the news on a daily basis. So the studio decided to, you know what, let's not release it now, let's wait till everything kind of cools down, and we'll release it in 2020 in March, which was a great month for movies. The movie was released on March 13th, 2020, that was the weekend where everything was shutting down and businesses were closing. As a teacher, I had to move everything from in-person to online courses. All that weekend. Perfect timing. In a wide open field, a bunch of people wake up with gags in their mouth, and after opening a large crate that's in the middle of the field, they see a bunch of weaponry and start to arm themselves. Out of nowhere, bullets start flying, and almost every one of them are taken out. All but a few stranglers survive and are on the run, trying to understand why they are captured and why people are shooting at them. If you've ever read The Most Dangerous Game, which is a pretty famous tale, this movie's not based on that tale, but the idea is there. Just take that tale and then take every political aspect of our country and just shove it into it, and then you get this movie. A bunch of random people are shooting these random people for sport, and it's sickening, it's disgusting. It does make for a cool story. I'm not condoning violence at all in real life. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this is a movie. Everything is planned out, everything is scripted, everything is done safely. So the violence that you see in here is not what is actually happening in the world. So I know there's so many, like, conservative groups out there who will hear a premise of a movie like this and go like, no, you shouldn't be seeing that because my kids are going to see it and they're going to grow up crazy. No, if they're going to grow up crazy, it's because of the environment that they're growing up in. It's not going to grow up crazy because of art. Stop it. That's my 2 cents on that subject, and moving on. Really hard to get away from political statements like that, though, because this film is basically drowning in political satire and political statements. The reason why all of this is happening is literally because liberals are trying to take out conservatives, and then the conservatives are trying to fight back against the liberals, and oh my god, I'm so sick of this. I have to deal with this every single 4 years in this frickin' country, and here it is in this movie. Why? I say every 4 years because that's when the majority of Americans actually care about the political party that they're associated with, because you have to vote for it for president. So after that, everyone's kind of like, well, whatever, I'll just go on with my daily life. Anywho, back to this movie. I do like how this film keeps you guessing for, like, the first half of this film. You have no idea who the protagonist is, who we are going to be following along on our journey, because you have an idea, the camera zooms in on someone, and you think, oh, okay, there's our main character that we're going to follow. Spoiler alert, they get taken out in the first, 2 minutes. And then the camera slowly pans over to another person who seems to have their shit together, and you go, oh, okay, we're following this person. Nope, they're taken out too. And then it happens again, and again, and again, and I love scripts that do that has the audience guessing the entire time. How many films have you seen that are so formulaic and you know exactly who the protagonist is and they're the main person, so obviously they're going to make it to the end? Here we don't do that. We don't start with the protagonist. It's kind of like a relay race in this film. We go from one person to the next person to the next person to the next, until we finally kind of get an idea of, okay, here's our main person that we're following. I love it. I love that script writing. However, the tone of this script is very confusing. Bunch of people that they don't know why they're in the middle of the field start getting taken out, and they're exploding, they're being shot, which is very serious, and it's very sad and very scary. But then you also have moments where someone whose exploded bottom half is missing, and they're down in a pit, and they're just like, oh, give me the gun, shut up, I'm just gonna shoot myself. Blah, blah, blah. Trying to play it off like comedy. And it's so weird, like, because, I mean, there's dark comedy out there where you make light or you have levity over a serious situation, so I get that. But there was so drastic tonal shifts in this movie that they weren't 100% hitting for me. I would assume that a lot of people in the theater, well, I guess people that did go to the theater that weekend, when they were watching this movie, I feel like they would have, like, turned around or looked to the side to see how other people were reacting to what they were seeing. I watched this movie at home, so, I mean, I guess I was doing that, but obviously there's no one else here with me. But you hear a line or you see a certain way a certain character dies and you go, was that funny? Am I supposed... I kind of want to laugh at it, but it's also... someone just died. I'm so confused. That is the perfect word for this movie. It is confusing. And I think that's what this film is going for. And I think a lot of times it works. It plays very well, but I also think that this film gets caught up a lot in its politics and its use of humor in serious situations and serious humor in comedic situations. This movie's freaking weird. It's freaking strange. One of the most confusing films I've ever reviewed. Like, I don't know how to feel about this movie, because there were points where I was like, oh, that's brilliant, and other parts where I was like, that's just excessive violence. I don't want to see that, and I don't care. I definitely think it's worth a watch, though, and going back to 2019 when this film was supposed to come out, and hearing all the uproaring over the supposed violence in this film, like, oh, we have so much violence in our movies nowadays, my children, I have children, and violence, no! I want to ask a lot of those people, did you even watch this movie to confirm your suspicions as to what is actually happening in this film? I would guarantee less than 1% of those people actually watched this movie. So for someone to judge art before you actually judge it is bullshit to me, and I don't think anyone should ever do that. So in that regards, I think everyone should watch this movie to develop your own frickin' opinion about it. Again, that's just my 2 cents, so I'm going to be moving on from there. I'm going to give The Hunt 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and the next one is another PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my consistent contributors on this channel as well, James Filbury. You recommended the Robin Williams film, World's Greatest Dad. I love Robin Williams. I've never heard of this film. I think this was towards like the latter part of his life in the last like couple of years, so I tried to stay away from those films just because, you know, Robin was such a troubled soul, especially around that time, and I feel like you can see that in those movies. So I tried to stay away from him, but you recommended this film, and I love Robin Williams, so any chance I get to go back and watch him, I'm extremely happy for. So we'll check out World's Greatest Dad next time. So guys, if you've seen The Hunt, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of World's Greatest Dad. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.